iScrappers, Tom from the iScrap app. Today is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. We're pre-recording this video because we're probably going to be leaving a couple hours early so we can get those barbecue grills ready and enjoy America's birthday. We hope that many of you are out there looking for a scrap as always. Don't forget, this is one of the prime weeks or weekends of the entire season to be looking for some of those grills that are out there. So hopefully you can pick a couple up. Hey, you might even be able to use a couple of the ones that you pick up or resell them. We've certainly heard dozens of stories about that happen in the past. Now it finally happened. The market finally had a reaction to President Trump and President Xi meeting at the G20 summit, and I will tell you about it in a second. But don't forget, every Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. we like to do our live weekly report. Sometimes we do it pre-recorded as we are this week, but that doesn't mean that you can't ask questions. Ask questions, post comments, post different ideas, tell us what you're looking to learn. Of course, you can also tune in and subscribe to our Patreon account where we have weekly, daily updated prices. Some are locked and you can only get them if you subscribe. We're going to continue to post more material pricing out there, more tips and tricks so you can make more money with your scrap, so make sure you subscribe to that as well. So over the weekend we saw the meeting happen for several hours between President Xi and President Trump. What happened out of that meeting was relatively boring, uneventful, and in my mind, the best possible outcome from a meeting like that. Of course, we want to see markets climb and we want to see the copper prices jump. Monday morning, they jumped slightly and then they ticked back down going into the middle of this week. That could be due to several factors. One would be an economic problem. Two would be the extended holiday for the US. And three could be market uncertainty overall. Don't forget, summer months are always a little harder to be able to trade metals with, and then you add in some of these trade and tariff tensions that we have right now, and that certainly makes it much tougher than normal. Now, this meeting went relatively well, with the U.S. not putting any more tariffs on the Chinese. The Chinese are starting to buy more soybeans and other products from the U.S., and the U.S. is allowing chip makers that make these little chips for the circuit boards and phones and smart boards from the U.S. to sell to the Chinese firm Huawei. Now, this is a big deal because nothing bad happened. Sometimes a good meeting can be good even if nothing great comes out of it immediately. But what did happen? The US and the Chinese have started to renegotiate and started to go back to the table to get a trade deal together that will be fair for both countries. Now, we've said this over the last year and especially over the last few months. These things don't happen overnight, and the secret to the success, especially in this, is making sure that both parties are talking to each other openly and making sure that they give and take something, which is what we're hoping is going to happen. Now, in our opinion, this is going to take 3 or 4 months, and you're going to sporadically hear good pieces of news that are going to increase the market, and if you're a subscriber for our Patreon page, you'll be able to learn about that. We'll always share it during our weekly report, but if you're scrapping more often or want to learn more about the market data, our goal will be to push that out to you. Now, through these weekly reports that we're doing here, we're going to try to update you at least twice a month with some of the tariff changes, some of the news, and some of the prices that are going on. Over the last week, we've seen the price of Bear Bright drop about 3 cents a pound, with reported prices anywhere from $2.07, $2.11, $2.18, and as high as $2.41 a pound. That was before some of the markets started dropping in the last couple days. Aluminum prices have increased a penny or two a pound, but there hasn't been much of a change for the reported prices for sheet aluminum, siding, and aluminum cans, the 3 primary metals that we watch. Aluminum cans have averaged around 32 cents a pound, aluminum siding around 31 cents, and aluminum sheet around 24 cents a pound. Now, the steel and iron prices have gone down another $7 to $10 a ton, depending on where you are. We've seen some sheet iron prices, or light iron, or shredding items, depending on where you are in the country, reported as low as $22 per ton over the last couple of weeks. Now, these are not things that we like to hear, but we're hoping that with these trade talks going on, tariff negotiations, and possible abatement of some of these will lead to higher prices down the way. Now, we see lots of people complaining about the metal prices, but it is what it is. It's kind of like the weather. Sometimes you can only control so much and you have to roll with the punches. Now, some people we've seen hoarding their metals, selling their low grades, and waiting for copper to tick back up. We've also seen many people cashing out as quickly as they get it in because time is money, and once you have money tied up into an asset or a commodity that you can't move unless you actually sell it, and you can't, buy groceries, pay your bills with, some people are moving things all the time. What we think is going to happen from here, a lot of nothing. I think that the next few weeks is going to be relatively boring with a few pieces of news coming out that the trade talks are going well and they're continuing to make progress. Now, that might seem boring, and it really is, especially when we're looking for these copper, aluminum, and other scrap prices to increase. But long term, these are the boring pieces of news that we need to hear to get to an exciting ending and wrap it up. Think of this as like a big movie. We have lots of suspense going on, but we're not really sure where we are. Maybe this was the climax that's going to pivot and turn into a different direction, but it's really something that we don't know until the ending kind of comes about and we see how the movie shakes itself out. We're hoping that it's going to be a very good ending, one that captivates us, makes us smile, and not one that makes us cry. We would like to wish America a very happy birthday. We'd like to extend all of our regards to our military members that serve us overseas, locally, and who have in the past. We wish all of you a safe and healthy 4th of July. Please make sure to subscribe to our Patreon page where you'll be able to learn more information. Of course, we'll have a link below to show you what's going on. We always welcome your questions. We'd love to hear your comments. And until next week, I'll scrap you later.